Let me go to line 4. Jay, line 4. Welcome to the Tony Katz Show. What's up, Jay?
Yeah, hi. Two questions for you. You are
Sure.
aware that in the streets of London they still find unexploded ordnance from World War II. That's number one. And number two, how'd the Boston bomber get a gun? He's supposed to be one of these bad guys on a lot of lists. How does a guy like that get a gun?
Let's go to the first two. Pretty interesting about London, and I would say that I'm no expert on the subject. But if you're talking about things that either got built over or didn't explode, and because of the force of how it got dropped, drilled down, okay, I understand it. Well, we're talking about a very, very localized area. You knew where these buildings were, and you didn't see it. I have an issue with that, and I don't want to excuse it. I want to find out where the flaw was, and I want someone to be responsible for it. That's really what it's about. It's about the idea of responsibility. Now, number two, to where he got the gun, and by the way, there was talk that there was assault weapons and what have you. No, not true, not the case. They had a Ruger 9mm. That was it. And the answer is, it just goes to prove that the idea that background checks will save us is total nonsense. I think the bigger question is, where did he get the pressure cookers?
No, guns are killing people.
Where did he get the pressure cookers?
In Central Illinois.
3 people dead, 260 injured. Jay, get with the program. 3 people dead, including an 8-year-old boy and a 29-year-old girl, and 1 woman who came to the United States to make her life better. 260 injured from pressure cookers. Which one are we going to discuss? Are we going to discuss this or not?
In our local area, 5 people dead by gun.
Are we going to discuss it or not? Are we going to discuss the fact that everybody locked themselves in their houses and relied on the police? They didn't rely on themselves. How about that as a problem and an issue? Do you think the people in those houses that they cowered in terror allowed the police to just walk in and search their homes? Don't you think they wish they had a way to protect themselves? Were they going to throw pressure cookers outside? Don't you think they would have been better off if they were able to care for themselves and protect themselves and the ones they love?
By the way, I heard your show last week.
I asked you a question.
Let me answer.
I asked you a question, Jay. Why won't you answer it? Why won't you answer it? I already said there's a problem with background checks, and obviously that's not the answer. And now I have brought up the idea of all these people who cowered in their homes, as opposed to standing on their porches and saying, if some guy wants to come and terrorize our neighborhood, we're taking that guy out. I want to know, do you think those people were better off by not having guns in their homes? Yes or no?
There's nothing the matter with a 6-shot revolver, but what we don't need is everybody running around with assault rifles.
Guess what? Nobody was running around with an assault rifle. These aren't military people. There are no assault rifles on the street. You got to learn the terminology.
They're military style.
Oh, no. Can I ask you a question? If I camouflage my microphone, is it a military style microphone? Is this an assault mic?
Have 30 magazines, sir.
Can we play the 18 theme when we do this? Well, I'm sorry, what was that? What was that, Jay?
You don't need 30-round magazines in a civilian.
So let's be sure what you just did here. I want everyone to understand what just happened. You took the attack from these 2 terrorists, potential terrorists, if you want to, and you decided to make it about guns when it's not about guns. That is sick. You won't talk about the connection to radical Islam. You won't talk about the jihad connection. You won't talk about why they got welfare. You won't talk about the friend who is now being questioned by the FBI, who was on a student visa and put terrorist number 1 on his car. Will you talk about that? No.
That's not good. I'm not happy with that. I'd be for restricting people like this from coming in the U.S. No problem with that.
Holy mackerel, we found a place to connect. I like. Maybe we're on to something, but I'm out of time. I appreciate the phone call, Jay.
Yep,
I appreciate all of you. Follow on Twitter, twitter.com/Tony Katz. Follow Holly Bacon77 on Twitter, Indio_radio for Kane. Subscribe at YouTube /Tony Katz TV. Next time, everyone. Take care.